You know that feeling when a good song comes on and you want to dance? Maybe you start tapping your foot a little bit, swaying, but there's something holding you back. Maybe it's fear of looking silly, or it's self consciousness, or maybe you just don't feel free enough. Today, we're going to break that down because dancing like no one's watching is bigger than just dancing. It's about living without fear of being judged. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Talk about how to dance like no one's watching and truly let go and lean into being yourself. Hey, welcome there. I am Sass. I am your host, your coach, your trainer, your friend, your positivity pal here on the Practice Your Positive Daily podcast. This is the space where we train our brains to embrace positivity, resilience, hope, connection, one thought at a time. Today, we're talking about how to let go, how to be cool in the most authentic way, and why that starts from within. All right, we're going to break this down in 3 steps. This new podcast series, keeping these tight. I'm going to give you the 3 steps to get to the place where you can dance like no one's watching. All right, step 1, don't hate yourself. Listen, you cannot hate yourself and also not care what other people think. Does that make sense, right? Those two things don't exist in the same person. If you are deeply critical, you'll assume that everyone else is judging you too. Listen, the real work to unpack your lack of self-love or where your criticism comes from, or your judgmental attitude, that is well beyond a 10-minute podcast. But I do want to plant a seed that step 1 to not giving AF is total self-acceptance. You have to be okay with who you are, where you are, what you do, your body, your situation. That is the goal. The goal is acceptance and loving where you're at, even if it's not perfect, right? It may not be perfect, but it's perfectly good. If you're working toward change, even then you need to stop judging yourself, because once you take that off the table in your own mind, you won't have other people's opinions weighing you down either. It'll just disappear. How we see ourselves is how we see the world. So when you're judgmental, harsh, or condemning of yourself, you're going to presume that everybody else is the same way, and that's just not true. All right, step 2 to dancing like no one's watching and not giving AF is that somewhere along the way, you forgot how to have fun. Somewhere in adulthood, we just stop having fun. I can't speak to what the male experience is like, but I've noticed that in a lot of women, myself included at times, is that we're just too stressed to let go. We are overwhelmed, we are overworked, we are the responsible ones taking care of everything and everyone else and just trying to make it through the day. And I get that. Fun will then take a back seat. That makes sense. And then from what I see in some men is that maybe the idea of masculinity doesn't align with that letting loose and dancing and being playful. Somehow that makes you look weak if you relax and have a good time. No matter where it comes from, ask yourself, when did fun become something you had to earn? Or when did fun become a chore or take a back seat? Being present, laughing, moving your body, feeling free, interacting with other people, those are your right. That's your right as a human to enjoy, to have joy in this experience. You just have to remember how to have fun and get back to that person. All right. Step 3 to dancing like no one's caring is you probably don't like enough people. Okay, that sounds harsh. But if I asked you, how many people do you love, like actually love? Okay, let's just say how many people you like. How many people do you actually like? Make a list in your mind. What are you thinking? Like 3 people and maybe a handful of dogs? We just don't like people enough. And when we don't like people, we feel like we're an outsider, like people are judging you and it's just, you versus them. But that can be because your circle is too small. If you only surround yourself with people who look like you and think like you and talk like you and move like you in the world, it's easy to feel like there's an us and a them. There's a right and a wrong. But the reality is, when you open up your world and connect with community, volunteer, get involved, have friends of different backgrounds and ages and upbringings, you start to see there are so many ways to exist. There is a tapestry, a rainbow, a spectrum. And suddenly, then you're not the weird one or the awkward one. You're just one of many. And that makes all the difference. Listen, I'm going to tell myself here too. I've always been loud and outgoing, and I've often felt like the life of the party. But if I'm honest, before I practiced my positive, it often felt more performative than authentic. I was trying to be social. I was trying to make everybody like me. I was trying to be the life of the party. And that was exhausting. And I couldn't always be on. And then people would see this kind of up and down in my behavior. And it was confusing. And it was confusing to me too. Now that I've worked on my positive mindset, I feel relaxed into myself. I'm comfortable with who I am, weirdo qualities and all. I'm not trying to be the life of the party. I'm just comfortable in my own skin. And when you're comfortable, you naturally invite the joy in. You don't care as much. You get okay with yourself. I don't care who's watching me dance now because I'm not dancing for them. I'm not dancing to get somewhere. I'm dancing for me. All right, positive of the day. What is one moment today where you can let go? Let go just a little. Maybe laugh a little bit louder, sing in the car, do a little dance while you're making your coffee. Start practicing what it feels like to move without self-consciousness. All right, find your moment of freedom today. Freedom! All right, so how do we dance like no one's watching? Step one, don't hate yourself. Work towards self-love. Step two, remember how to have fun. And listen, this might mean that you need to make some decisions. You know, speaking from the woman's point of view again, if I feel like I am overburdened, I can let some of those things go. I don't always have to watch the neighbor's kids. I don't have to only be the one to plan dinner. Delegate, move some things off your plate so you can remember and have space how to have fun. All right. And number three, broaden your world so you don't feel like an outsider. Purposely seek out friends, communities, classes, spaces to mix it up and really experience a broad variety of people. It will make you see there are a million ways to have fun, be a human, be positive, and they're all totally valid. There is no right or wrong. All right. If this episode spoke to you and you are ready to let go, live with confidence, and dance like no one's watching, do me a favor, hit subscribe, like, and share this episode. Let's spread the message that joy is worth embracing. I am free to be me, and you are too. All right. Until next time, keep practicing your positive and keep dancing.